Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of the Daily Dose. Today is Wednesday, September 28th. And after a lot of selling the past couple days, we finally got a bounce. It's near a level where you'd expect it. We got back to the June lows the past 2 days, and we finally had a rebound today. So whether that'll be something sustainable and maybe create some kind of a double bottom on the S&P 500, or whether this is just a little bit of relief before we break through the June lows and head much lower. That we don't know, but right now we do know that there are some buyers at that level from where we are in June. I believe it was like 36.30 around there is the low on the S&P 500. And even though we had new lows in the Dow Jones, it also rebounded with the S&P 500. Typically, you'll see the other indices kind of move with the S&P 500. So if you're looking for a index to give you kind of indicators of where the market is headed, I would use the S&P 500. But then if you want to trade or invest in the other indexes, then you can do that. But I would get all my indicators on moves from the S&P 500. Oops, sorry about that. But before I get into the rest of it, if you like this type of content, we release one of these videos every single day that the stock market is open, and we release a longer video over the weekend that kind of goes more in depth and has some more analysis in it. If you haven't watched this past weekend's video, make sure you do that. It was a really good episode. So if you like that, be sure to subscribe here on YouTube or follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. But let's get into it. So the S&P 500 was up about 2% today. The NASDAQ was up a little over 2%, and the Dow was up 1.88%. If we zoom out, we're still down over 20% year to date on the S&P 500, still down about 30% on the NASDAQ, and a little over 18% on the Dow. It's been a really volatile market. Definitely not the time to say that was the bottom, that we're going to get this double bottom now. I mean, maybe we will, but maybe we won't. So if we look at the chart here on the S&P 500, in the past couple days, we tried to break through that low really like 3 times, and it got rejected. And today the market was like, you know what? Finally, we're going to buy up off of it. And that's what happened. There's a bunch of things that could happen from here. We could head straight back down and get more chop and then head lower. We could head back down, test it again, get some chop, go higher. We could continue to go higher to this level if we get back up here to about 3,900 to 4,000. That's where I'd expect some more selling, especially around the 4,000 level. But other than that, it's really wide open still what we could do here. Just because we rebounded today doesn't mean that we're headed higher throughout the rest of the week. It just means we had some buyers there, and we've been selling off pretty aggressively the past couple of days too. You have to look at it from that angle. Even if today was an aggressive up day, you typically get an aggressive up day after you sell this hard, and you get some down days after you buy up super aggressively. So I'm not really reading too much into the move itself today, although it is significant coming off of this level from the June lows. It's more significant than, say, if we had dropped through and then bounced off of this level. It's definitely more significant that it happened up here and that we did not make a new low for the close. That is a big deal. So let's take a look at Bitcoin. It also bounced with the market up over 3% for the day, but I still think something's going to need to happen once we hit this trend line. I mean, if you zoom out, it hasn't obviously it's only had a couple tries right here to breach the trend line, but I feel like it's going to have to do something if we get to here and we're still in this zone. So I feel like our time being in this zone is coming to an end. when we hit this trend line, whether we bounce up and go higher or we break lower for like the 12,000 to 9,000, I think it's going to have to move. Obviously, it's going to at some point, but I feel like this trend line will be kind of like a trigger for it. But we're just going to have to wait and see. Once again, we're just going to have to wait. So be sure and stay tuned for that. But that's really all I have today. The market's rebounded. Bitcoin rebounded with it. We're going to have to keep an eye to see if this is something that'll turn into a potential double bottom or if it's just a little bit of relief before we continue the selling. Obviously, the Fed is still really hawkish, so there's really not a lot behind what could be a rally following this, but you never know, so we're just going to have to wait and see. Stay tuned for that. But thank you for watching or listening to this episode, and I will see all of you in the next one.